Hello Aquarius friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Aquarius August 2022 Astrology Must-Knows Horoscope Forecast. Definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com to see the interface for all the free goodies I make for you each month so you don't miss a chance to make the most of the starry possibilities. I'm also so excited to announce my launch based on your feedback requesting to have more content from me. So now you can go to Annie B Astrology, Annie the letter B Astrology, also in the links below the notes of the video or podcast, to see my new private membership extra bonus content site. Okay, so you can check that out there and join me. We're definitely going to have a lot of fun with going into all kinds of topics based on my feedback from you all. So, what's going on this month? First of all, I want you to know, big must know, that this is for you if Aquarius is your sun sign, rising sign, moon sign, or any other Aquarius placement that you are watching for. This is going to be part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Aquarius placement, so we'll say like February 13th through the rest of the sign, or 23 degrees through the rest of the sign, then I highly recommend you additionally listen to my Pisces report, because you very late degree friends will benefit from both the Pisces and the Aquarius readings. So now, what's going on in August? We're going to go over the basic must-knows of the month. And I'm going to equip you as best as I can to understand the energies so that you can align with the natural rhythms of the universe. So, first big must know is that this is our last month of our breather between the eclipse seasons. July and August, we've had a little bit of a lightening of the eclipse effects and the season and the trajectory and the big news and the big changes. And so into September and then through the rest of the year, we're going to be back in that Taurus-Scorpio eclipse season. So August, not there yet, little chance to breathe and integrate, so that is a big must-know and something to celebrate. The next big must-know and something to very much celebrate is that for most of August, we are still in that beautiful open period free from personal planet retrogrades. So June 19th through August 21st is a time, and the last time for the whole year of 2022, that we don't have Mercury retrograde or the shadow, Venus retrograde or the shadow, Mars retrograde or the shadow. And that energetically equates with the tides going out. It's a time to push your boat out to sea. The tides will help you. Anything that you try to launch far and wide will have extra support from the universe at this time. And as we get to August 21st and after, Mercury will start to get into its pre-retrograde transit, then Mars will start to get into its pre-retrograde shadow starting September 4th. So we're going to start to really get into the inward and backward, finishing unfinished business, taking things that come instead of trying to push ahead kind of energies of the retrogrades. But August, for the most part, is not that time. So through August 21st, very clear for your brand shiny new projects, your launches, the things you want to have a lot of oomph and ambition and energy and support. If you need other people to show up to do things, you're going to have the most luck through this month, because once Mars gets retrograde, people start to get lazy and they start to not show up. Things start to slow that were moving forward, and you will notice it. So just try to get everything that you can get done now, and expect to take a nice rest during the Mars retrograde if you want to be in alignment with the energies. And we'll talk more about this. We're going to actually do a deep dive later in this report into Mars direct versus Mars retrograde and what kinds of energies are good to push through August, and then what we'll be stepping into for 6 months starting in September. Okay, so the next big must know is that we've got a lot of Leo energy. So this started last month. So I was talking about the topic of relationships, shiny, very radiantly glowing for you. A lot of creative energy, a lot of romantic energy, a lot of fiery, zesty potentials that can show up in your relationship space. So you're very likely going to be very busy in your relationship space, for better and worse, because these planets do make oppositions to your Aquarius placement, which can sometimes put you a little bit at odds with your stuff and your space and someone else's needs. And you got to do this push and pull, me versus we, keeping a balance, keeping the balls up in the air. But you'll have lots of opportunity to have support for your personal endeavors, for your personal healing, and you'll get to show up for a lot of people, which could make you feel really good, and you could have wonderful collaborations. So July, August, September into October, you're really in a very strong collaboration season for Aquarius. So getting just kind of down in there with people close to you and working on some things and, you know, getting some new things going in August. And then as we get to the end of August and into September, we're starting to wrap up unfinished business or finish up projects, dot I's and cross T's, and that kind of thing. If you need new customers or want to launch new parts of your business, this month is amazing for that. And it's really, really important if you've got some new irons in the fire that you really let those sizzle and shine and get them out as far and wide as possible while you have this beautiful energy, because then the energies will kind of go towards tending to your current clients, going back to past connections, and those kind of things. But for most of August, it's really, really open. And that's also for new love. If you are an Aquarius looking for new love, this month burns very, very bright for you. If you are interested in online dating or saying yes to someone that, you know, is trying to set you up with someone, there's definitely a lot of potentials at this time. And the, you know, romantic fires are burning very, very bright. Okay, so there is going to be a full moon in your sign on August 11th. So we know that full moons can bring drama, fruition, completion, manifestation, things bubbling up from the hidden realms into the visible realms, those kind of things. So definitely expect a lot of emotion, we'll call it, in the days around August 11th. So we'll say, you know, August 8th through August 14th, that range of time, there's definitely going to be a lot of possibly drama, but that drama could also be good. You know, things having to do with your body, your physical body, your recognition, your health, your, you know, who you are and what you're trying to do in the world, your identity. Anything having to do with friendships or social circles or social media is also coming into the limelight here. If you're wanting to do a launch and be seen and push, you know, your image far and wide, you also have a lot of energy around that. This is definitely a very good time for Aquarius to be seen, to be noticed, for your work to shine. So there might be some work that you have to do to push that stuff out, but this is a really great time for all of that. Now, everyone will feel that Aquarius full moon, but those of you close to 19 degrees, so we'll say 14 degrees through 24 degrees, and the closer to 19 degrees, the more you will get a boost or notable outcomes from that full moon. Okay, so 14 degrees through, yeah, we'll say 14 through 24 degrees. So that's going to be like February 4th through February 14th. And the closer to like February 9th, the more you're going to feel all of the fullness of this in more personal ways. Okay, so the next big must know is that we are having energies also transition into Virgo this month. I've already alluded to some of the manifestations of this by saying that this is a time for collaborating. As the planets move through Leo and then through Virgo, this cycle that happens every year, in this period of time, this lights up your 7th and then 8th house, which is your 8th house with the Virgo energies, has to do with your stuff and other people's stuff. So money, inheritances, loans, government connections, capital, you know, loans or gifts or angel, you know, investing, your investments, anything having to do with other people's money or shared resources could come through your spouse or partner. These energies are burning bright. You might have some deep urges to dive into mystery, whether it's a mystery series on TV, a book series, or esoteric learning. You know, your desire to go deep and intimate and do research, and even on the topics of psychology or parapsychology or, you know, spiritual topics. You might notice that you're getting very obsessive about and want to do a lot of research and get into or study those types of topics. Or maybe you're studying how you can have the lowest tax bill legally because you have a business, or, you know, there's this energy of research, of gathering information on the topics of estate planning or anything else that has to do with the 8th house. This is also a time where it's more likely that you'll find money, or someone will give you money, or you'll win money. So whenever your 8th house is accentuated, you have this energy of money usually coming from someone else, not as much your earned money unless you're collaborating with someone, which like an affiliate or something like that could also come in. So if you are needing help to expand your business, this actually, the combination of these energies that we're discussing here is fantastic for that. So if you are done doing things alone and you need some helpers to support or expand your business or your work, or help you find a better job or a raise or something like that, you might look to a service that somebody has or to a collaboration with someone. Okay, let's see. So the Virgo energies are going to also start to bring detail-oriented focus, discipline, prudence. It might be a time, if you've been a little excessive with spending or celebrating, that it's kind of time to start pulling into routine. We do have this hybrid month where we still have these like fiery, zesty, celebratory, fun Leo energies. And then the Virgo energies are starting to come in to say, okay, let's start to tune it down a little bit. Let's start to get into a little more of a routine. Let's start to structure some of this and get things a little bit more organized. You might find that you're getting organized for the new school year, or for a new season, or for something, but this is definitely bringing your attention to the daily routine and your schedule, and it's a great time to get reorganized. If you have to buy new planners or set up new systems, the best time to do that is by August 21st or so, because anything new that you put in place there can have a chance to have more longevity, not being in the retrograde time. Okay, so the next big must know is that, let's see. Okay, so there are many aspects to talk about this month, and if you want to see a write-up of all of them, you can go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter, and you'll get a list of all of the notable aspects that I'm looking at, what you might see from them, the dates, etc., delivered into your inbox 1 month early. But obviously I can't go through all of that information here because the video would be super long, but I'm going to hit a couple of highlights. Okay, so we talked about the full moon. We're now going to talk about 2 beautiful aspects, okay? It is important to note that this month we do actually have quite a few more salty aspects compared to sweet ones. Earlier in the year, we had a nice few-month flow where it was the opposite. We had more sweet aspects than salty, but now July and now August, where we definitely got some more road bumps compared to before. But that doesn't have to be bad, and sometimes when you're in a process of expansion, you need to have some road bumps along the way to give you a controlled expansion, or a more sustainable experience or creation. So just kind of think about these little checks here and there as they're just going to be little bumps in the process of your manifestation. But 2 very sweet ones, and we do have at least 10 beautiful connections that I'm looking at. So we'll talk about 2 of them. One is going to be in the days around August 18th. So we'll just say like August 14th through August 22nd, the closer to August 18th, the more strong. There's a Venus in Leo trine Jupiter in Aries. And so this is in fire. All right. So anything that goes on in fire really fuels the air energies and makes beautiful angles for you. So everyone can get expansion, benevolence in love and money, good news and money, some breakthroughs in your relationship, something having to do with your self-esteem or your inner certainty can really gel into place during this time. Everyone can feel the goodies, but those of you who are within 3 degrees through 13 degrees, the closer to 8 degrees, the more you'll get a kiss from this particular aspect. And so that's going to be, let's see, like 8 degrees, like the last few days, we'll say pretty much most of the January born into the first few days of February. And the closer you are to the last couple of days of January, the more you'll get a kiss from this aspect. Okay, so one more sweet aspect to talk about, even though, like I said, there are more, but these are the ones we're going to discuss, is in the days around the 24th of August. So we'll say like, so that's Venus again, yes. So like the 20th through the 28th of August, the closer to the 24th, so pretty much, you know, towards that last week. We've got Venus and Leo again, making another trine with Chiron. All right, so this is where the wounded healer, healing, you know, dramatic breakthroughs, pushing past limitations from your psychology within your financial or relationship sector, getting into deeper levels of certainty with yourself, and something that was a weakness before could be gelling into a strength at this point. So past work can show up in a big way, and blessings on your healing path. If you're trying to heal a relationship with someone, or you're trying to heal a pattern, this is the type of energy that can provide a very notable and permanent breakthrough. So all of these goodies are available for everyone in the zodiac, some extra goodies for the fire and air signs like you, and those of you who are close to 15 degrees, so we'll say 11 degrees through 21 degrees, and well, yeah, 11 through 20 degrees. Actually, yeah, around 10 degrees through 20 degrees. Sorry about that. The closer to 15 degrees, the more you'll get a kiss from this. So that's going to be like February 5th through February 15th, and the closer to February 10th, the more you get a kiss from that aspect. Okay, so the next big must know is that Mars is going to go in retrograde. This is a 6 to 7 month cycle that starts September 4th with the pre-retrograde shadow transit that starts then, and it stretches all the way until the middle of March of 2023. So I am going to do a deep dive section here very soon in this report about the dates, the things to really push through for the direct energy in August, and how we're transitioning into the retrograde energy starting in September, and how you can align your efforts to understand those things better. But the first thing that I want to mention, which is a very good thing, which is a major must know, is that Mars is going retrograde in a fellow air sign. So from 8 degrees through 25 degrees, or basically 25 degrees back to 8 degrees of Gemini, is going to be this Mars retrograde transit. So the odds of you getting a kiss from this whole transit is very high for Aquarius placements. And so that's for all of you, really. But those of you who have planets between 8 and 25 degrees. So this is going to be basically the last couple of days of January through like the teens, you know, the 18th, 19th, something like that of the, you know, of February. So this is, you know, the vast majority of Aquarius placements are actually going to experience multiple kisses from the Mars retrograde cycle over the upcoming months, and even starting this month, because Mars is going to be in Gemini. And as Mars is in Gemini, it's going to give you kisses. Then when it goes retrograde, it's going to give you kisses again. And when it goes direct again, it's going to give you kisses again. All right. So that's something very much to look forward to. There are things to look out for. Let's talk about some of those now, as well as seeing the energies of direct versus retro and how to align your actions. Okay, so I'm recording this for you to help you better understand the Mars retrograde energies, to look at the dates that this full cycle will be relevant for, and to talk about the types of activities we want to align when Mars is direct versus when Mars is retrograde, and give you timelines for that so that you have the notice now that you can try to align your actions with being in sync with Mars. You know, is what I try to focus on, is to help you align with the natural rhythms of the universe, because when we go with the rhythms, it's much easier and much more enjoyable than if we try to push against them. So the more you know about how the rhythms work, the more you can align naturally with them. Okay, so Mars goes retrograde every 2.2 or so years, just to give you a little context. If you think back to around 2 years and 2 months ago, we were in a Mars retrograde cycle. And you can actually look up a Mars retrograde calendar of the past online and look at the times when Mars was in retrograde, you know, just for your research, to try to understand the types of energies that you experienced. And I always highly recommend writing in a journal the types of things that come up, especially as I'm helping you get educated on what Mars represents. If you pay attention to the kind of things that come up in Mars retrograde in general and for you personally, then you have your own private plan of how you're going to work with those energies, okay? So the pre-transit shadow period starts September 4th, okay? These shadow periods are very important to note, especially when we have planets that take longer. I mean, really, for any planet, the shadow period is relevant, but the longer the planet takes to do its, full orbit, the longer that pre and post shadow transit are going to be. So in these shadow periods, you start seeing a building of the types of retrograde things that we see, and the energies get stronger and stronger from the beginning of the shadow period, which is September 4th, through October 30th, which is when the actual retrograde is. But if you try to play the game, should I hurry up and do my launch or my big important thing, October 17th because it's not quite retrograde, you're playing a dangerous game because, you're in the shadow period, and the more you tune in, the more you'll see how these energies are present even before the actual retrograde occurs. So we're talking about September 4th through October 30th, a building of the retrograde energies, October 30th through January 18th, 2023 for the actual retrograde, and then a starting to lighten with every day we get past January 18th and move towards March 15th of 2023. Those energies are lightening every day. So, if you have to do something and it's not quite March 15th, at least the energies are much stronger and better than, let's say, if you tried to do something, with a Mars direct type of energy, right after the retrograde ended. So we're talking about Mars going retrograde from 25 degrees of Gemini back to 8 degrees of Gemini. Okay, so now let's talk about, just focus on, well, I guess we'll just leave it there. That's fine. Okay, so through September 3rd, so that means all of August, okay, which is the month right before the energies really start to brew for retrograde, we're really focusing on this new forward movement, tide going out, anything that you want to go longer term, any major launch that you want to have a good, nice birth date. Remember, anytime you do something major, it's a birth date for that activity, and it will carry all the energies of that time. Anything that requires all the things that Mars rules, oomph, get up and go, initiation, energy levels, ambition, initiative, follow through, any of these things. If you have a project that's going to require that type of energy, yours or other people, like you need other people to show up or to collaborate with on a project, you're not the only one that's going to be feeling the retrograde energies. They also will be. So if you're trying to initiate a project that needs other people to show up with their energy and ambition and follow through, then August, up until August, so really, June 19 through all of August is like this really nice open period for all of the personal planet retrogrades. But as far as Mars is going here, anything up until through the end of August and the first couple of days of September, you're going to have a lot more energy for these types of things. Now, the aspect of Mars ruling metal also comes into play. So if you have to purchase anything made of metal, cars, devices, machinery of any kind, major lawn mowing equipment, the direct time is a great time to get the best, focus on anything with metal. And this also has to do with surgeries. Now, please hear me. Just because I'm saying try to, know that there's more energy from the perspective of Mars transits supporting surgeries, whether they're voluntary or necessary, when you've got the direct time. If you're in the retrograde and you have to have a life-saving surgery, don't worry about it. You need that and you have to do it, so don't hesitate to do something that the doctor says will be curative or that you need to prevent a bigger problem. But just to kind of have a guideline. If you know you're going to need a surgery, you'll have better support for that from the Mars perspective, through August, basically. And the same thing with haircuts, scissors, right? So if you need a new stylist or a new style, you'll have extra oomph for that through August and the first couple of days of September. Tattoos, things like that, anything with the metal. If you have to put some legal, instigate legal proceedings against someone, even if you feel like you were wronged, that still is, from the astrological standpoint, an act of aggression, which is ruled by Mars. And there's more oomph and support when Mars is direct if you have to initiate legal proceedings. Now, if you're just responding to something and it's out of your hands, you got to do whatever you got to do. But if you're the one initiating something, Mars direct has much more support there. Okay, so now when we go into Mars retrograde, and obviously I'll be talking about this more as we're actually in that time, but I just want to kind of give you a heads up so you're understanding the flow and you can kind of position your projects and your planning accordingly. So Mars retrogrades basically from September 4th through March 15th, September 4th, 2022 to March 15th, 2023, and especially strong October 30th through January 18th. We're talking about going back to old things or just work as usual, anything that you've been having to do, although you might be a little more lazy and you might be less ambitious, things as usual, editing, light, low stakes projects, even if you want to do something new, but you're not attached to the outcome. And, the biggest thing here is to not take on anything that requires a titanic commitment and follow through, because the odds are that you're going to get lazy or busy or unambitious. And so committing or over promising is a very big, warning here. But anything where you're just kind of working in the backdrop, anything with reflections and self-development and therapy, individual, couple, family, is amazing. And along those lines, dealing with anger and resentment. A lot of times when people are chronically angry and resentful, even if you've done inner work, there could be something going on with your gallbladder and your liver. Now, obviously, I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to diagnose anything. I'm just saying from the energetic standpoint, from doing thousands of live individual readings and doing horoscopes for a very long time and working with astrology medically for 20 years, I have seen when your liver and gallbladder are overburdened, a lot of times the way you are noticing that as a symptom is actually chronic anger and resentment. So if you've done inner work and you can't think of why you should be angry or resentful anymore, it's possible your gallbladder and liver need some work. And that those things may or may not show up on standard medical tests, okay? So you can do things to love your liver. Also, neurological things, Mars does additionally rule Aries, and also Mars is a co-ruler for Scorpio, so the sexual organs would be in here as well, or reproductive organs. All of those might have some things that are under the surface that need to be dealt with, either energetically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, or physically. This energy of stepping out of a victim mentality is very important, because a lot of times people feel resentful because they feel like something is happening to them. So just kind of exploring this topic. The same thing with reckless behaviors. I don't know that reckless behaviors are really a great idea anytime overall, either through your voice, like saying something to someone, or your deeds. But it's especially, you have to be especially careful with your head and your physical body. Oops, sorry about that. And your physical body, in Mars retrograde, and old injuries might, or issues might come up to be dealt with. It's a fantastic time for rest and staycations and vacations, enjoying the fruits of past labor, clearing up unfinished business on any level, whether it's in your yard or whether it's in your relationship. All of these things are great for the retrograde. And I have even more resources. If you find my book, Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe, it's actually in all major booksellers on the shelves, or you can get it online or at independent bookstores. I have my no-go checklist of, how to make decisions in Mars retrograde and the questions to ask yourself, and plus a more detailed list of the direct versus retrograde energies. But I just wanted to give you a summary so that you can understand what kinds of things are good to do in August and before for your planning purposes, and what kind of things are good to table or sort of put in your planner for, the last months of the year, September through December, and a little bit into 2023. You can also search for Annie Botticelli Mars Retrograde to find a video that I've made on the topic, another video, and also I have a blog on the topic of Mars Retrograde, and I also have a blog on general retrograde advice. Okay, so if you're wanting to prepare or get more information, then you can use those resources as well. And of course, continue watching my monthly horoscopes as I will guide you through the rest of this direct process and then all of the time we're in retrograde. Okay, so I've given you lots to work with to help you make the most of the energies this month and to help you understand the energetic patterns at work and play. And if you'd like more resources, I've got all of these here. You can additionally go to the little more button, the little arrow underneath the bottom right of the video. Click on that and all of the links that I'm giving you here will be clickable, right? So if you're looking for reading options, including a beautiful, very detailed 45-minute audio of your birth chart for $33 from my brilliant husband, you can find that at anniebclarity.com. You can go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter. This is where you can access running a free birth chart. This is where you access my 28-day in-depth virtual coaching program called Shine for free. This is also where you'll find tons of blogs, and you get lots of other perks for being on my newsletter list. If you're looking for written horoscopes by me, always up a month early, you can go to cozybysweetstarlight.com. If you haven't seen this site, go to it. It is so beautiful. We've got, me and my team have lots of amazing astrology-inspired blogs and healthy living blogs. We've got hypnosis for all the signs. We've got healing frequencies for all the signs. I've got the written horoscopes that I write. We have yoga for all the signs. So it's just a very beautiful, comprehensive site. If you're looking for free courses on how to manifest money and wellness, you can go to lumlife.com, my school, Luminous Life Multiversity, LUMLIFE. You can also find my astrology education courses here, including my behemoth of a master course called Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course, which you can fully utilize even if you don't want to be a professional astrologer, but it certainly will get you up to the level where you could be and show you how to make your business a success. And payment plans are available there too. Now, I've also got 2 books out and more on the way. Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe. You will find this on the bookshelves in all major booksellers, including all the Books A Million, all the Barnes & Nobles. It's right there on the shelf. Plus, you can get it on Amazon and through any independent bookseller. And you can find Radical Prayer on Amazon, and you can order it anywhere as well. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye!